The forest was no longer the enchanting wilderness they had ventured into. It had become a nightmarish labyrinth, and the hikers were trapped within its twisted grass. The ancient burial ground, which had seemed so fascinating at first, had revealed itself to be a portal to a realm of malevolence and despair. As the hikers delved deeper into the heart of the burial ground, the air grew thick with an otherworldly chill. The cryptic symbols etched into the ancient tombstones began to glow with an eerie, unearthly light. The very ground beneath their feet seemed to pulse with a sinister energy. Lucas, a tall and sturdy hiker with a penchant for adventure, was the first to speak, his voice trembling with fear. "This place. It's not right. We should have never come here." Anna, the group's natural leader, cast a concerned glance at her friends. "We're in this together. We can't turn back now. We need to figure out what's happening here." She tried to sound resolute, but even her confidence was shaken. The group had been experiencing strange phenomena since their discovery of the burial ground: nightmares, inexplicable injuries, and the overwhelming sensation that they were being watched by unseen eyes. Dylan, the skeptic of the group, scoffed. "It's all in our heads, guys. We're letting this place get to us. There's a logical explanation for everything." But his bravado was shattered when the ground beneath him suddenly gave way, and he tumbled into an open grave. "Grabbing me." The forest seemed to respond to their intrusion. The ancient trees creaked and swayed, their branches forming grotesque, skeletal figures that loomed over the hikers. An unnatural fog rolled in, shrouding the burial ground in an impenetrable mist. Jenna, the group spiritualist and the most attuned to the supernatural, whispered, "We've awakened something that should have never been disturbed. We need to find a way to appease it, or we'll never leave this place." But appeasement was no longer an option. As the hikers attempted to leave the burial ground, they found themselves ensnared by invisible forces. Their surroundings transformed, and they were transported to a nightmarish, shadowy realm. In this surreal landscape, the hikers could see the vengeful spirits of the burial ground, their forms twisted and tormented. The spirits emitted anguished wails that reverberated through the air. It became clear that they were not welcome, and escape seemed impossible. Anna stepped forward, her heart pounding with dread. "We need to confront the source of this evil, whatever it is. We have to find a way to break this curse." Their only hope lay at the center of the burial ground, where a massive, ancient tree loomed. Its gnarled roots stretched deep into the earth, and its branches reached out like skeletal arms. The symbols etched into its bark pulsed with a malevolent energy. Lucas, fueled by determination, led the group toward the sinister tree. But the closer they got, the more the forest seemed to resist their advance. Roots snaked out from the ground, attempting to ensnare them. A cacophony of ghostly whispers filled their ears, urging them to turn back. As they reached the tree, the fog thickened, and a sense of foreboding washed over them. They heard a voice, ancient and malevolent, echoing in their minds. "You have defiled this sacred ground," the voice intoned. "You shall pay the price for your trespass." Anna addressed the unseen entity with a trembling voice. "We didn't come here to defile anything. We want to make amends. We want to understand." The voice responded, filled with malice. "You have awakened the ancient guardian, the one who ensures that the souls at rest stay undisturbed. To appease it, you must offer a sacrifice." A profound sense of dread settled upon the hikers. A decision had to be made, and it was not one they could make lightly. One of them had to volunteer to be the sacrifice, to appease the guardian and break the curse that held them captive. After a tense silence, Jenna, the spiritualist, stepped forward. She believed that she had a unique connection to the supernatural, and perhaps she could communicate with the guardian and find a way to release her friends. "I'll do it," she said, her voice determined. "I'll be the sacrifice. Maybe I can find a way to communicate with the guardian and put an end to this." The other hikers protested, but Jenna was resolute. She knew that this was the only way to free themselves from the curse that had ensnared them. The guardian demanded a sacrifice, and she was willing to offer herself for the sake of her friends. As Jenna approached the ancient tree, her heart raced. She could feel the malevolent presence within it, and she began to chant ancient incantations in an attempt to communicate with the guardian. The forest responded, the symbols on the tree's bark pulsing with intensity. Jenna felt the guardian's presence, a force of ancient power and wisdom. It communicated with her in cryptic riddles and whispered secrets of the burial ground. As Jenna delved deeper into her communication with the guardian, the fog began to dissipate, and the hikers were released from their otherworldly prison. They watched in awe and horror as the guardian absorbed Jenna's sacrifice, its power growing stronger with each passing moment. The curse was lifted, and the burial ground's secrets were preserved once more. The hikers were free to leave the forest, but they knew that they could never forget the horrors they had witnessed. Jenna had given her life to protect her friends, and the ancient guardian had returned to its eternal slumber. The hikers emerged from the forest, forever changed by their harrowing ordeal. They would carry the burden of their experience with them, a reminder that some secrets were better left undisturbed. The burial ground's secret had been uncovered, and the price had been paid.